welcome to Conversations of Hope, the show that gives you a little hope for your day. My name is Yesenia, and I'll be your host for today's episode. Conversations of Hope is an ongoing project from Christian Outreach and Action with the purpose of informing our community of the current resources offered here at COA and around the community of Long Beach. In January, we have our garage sale. In February, we have another senior luncheon. If you're interested in volunteering, please look at our website for more information. And if you're a senior yourself, make sure to RSVP before February 11th. And we also have our annual Spread the Love event, where we will be handwriting over 4,000 heartfelt messages full of hope. And if you're interested in writing a message for our community members, please stop by our office or give us a call and make sure to spread the love. Welcome back, everyone, for today's episode. We're so lucky to have Lucy Hayes today. You have been a community advocate for many, many years. And what would you say it would be a community advocate? What do you do?
In 2002, the city of Long Beach hired me to be an outreach worker. It wound up being was me talking to people that were experiencing homelessness wherever they were at. I would stop and communicate with you, and then we would talk. And if at that moment they wanted assistance, the process would begin. And that's advocation. You're helping someone advocate for themselves in a world where maybe they're stuck or they don't know how to move forward. And so there's many of us now that do advocation in the streets. But yeah.
And what drove you to become an advocate in the first place?
Growing up, I grew up really poor in the city of Compton, and we didn't have anything, and my mom would help people with paperwork, that they would give her $5, $10. She would be doing people's Social Security paperwork. Maybe it was stuff for your general relief, whatever it was, she would help you fill it out. And I used to watch her. When I finally got my life together, I started out working in rehab, drug and alcohol rehab. And there you advocate too, And that's where it began, when I was working in drug and alcohol rehab, helping others, just giving back what was given to me.
Yeah. And maybe what are some challenges that you faced working for other people, like helping them? What are maybe some stories that you can share?
10 years in, I finally just started this is the way it's going to be. You want to work with me? I'll work with you, but let's be a team.
What are maybe some inspiration that you got from them, or what motivated you to keep on going?
When you see someone housed, oh my goodness, it's Christmas. They're going to be housed. You know what I mean? They're not going to be on the streets. When you see somebody walk in their door and they pass you by 5 years later and you can barely remember them, and they're like, "Hey, Lucy, I'm still in my place." Guess what? They have gotten stable again. People look at the people that are homeless, or the word homeless, in a whole different light. And sometimes people lose their housing. Maybe it's loss of income or things. They're not always drug addicts. And, the worst of the worst, things happen to people. And once you just help them get back stabilized, it's just wonderful to see the things that happen to them, That's what keeps me going.
And I feel like that's a very common misconception, that sometimes we forget that they're just people. They're just people who need help. And that's why services such as those at COA and other community organizations, they're so important, because without them, people still need these services. And I know that you have been a volunteer for many of these community organizations, and maybe if you can share how you've been involved.
I do this because it's a calling, and also because I think it's really neat when you can help someone. So doing that is what kept me being truly helping people in the community. And I think it's really nice when you can collaborate and get a helping hand from others, because you're not a one-stop shop. You do a little here, I do a little there, they do a little here. People that come to see us on the mobile unit here at COA, they're also coming here for groceries at the same time. And that is so cool. About 5 months ago, I was here with the Mobile Access Center, and a young lady who volunteers for COA came up to me and asked me if we could help her, because she was living in a vehicle with a little boy. And I did my end of it, and on her end, she brought me all the documentation I needed. And I'm not kidding you, this doesn't happen. 4 months later, she's in her own apartment, and she got in, I think around Thanksgiving. But I kept telling her, you're going to have your first Thanksgiving, in a while, in your own home. And, oh, it's filled my heart. You know what I mean? She's stable again. And this is just the beginning of her life. And to be able to have a little hand in that is what it's all about. When you're helping others, to see the end, my end of the deal, and to see her continue on.
I think that's very inspiring for maybe people who are willing to serve. What are some things that you would suggest? Maybe a piece of advice that you would give them?
It's really hard, but in the long run, at the other end, you're receiving blessings that you don't even see. I was part of the homeless community, so when I got myself together, I would have to go home and tell my daughter, okay, you got to go to school. You got to do this. If you don't go to school, you got to go to work. Helping others, the blessings in my life are amazing at this time. I'm 61, and when I retired at 58, mind you, I'm poor. We were poor growing up. I didn't understand, but I retired with a pension. The blessings are that when I retired, I was able to have a parking spot. My own, I'm not kidding. My little backyard, my children, my daughter, right now as we're speaking, is walking for her master's degree. She's a teacher. And she's walking with her she's going to be a reading specialist. And for me, that's part of when I was homeless and when I got my life together, they told me to do a few things: break cycles of poverty, dysfunction. And I just really, really told her, school. I might have nagged her to death. And she's walking right now.
Wow.
Getting her master's degree.
Congratulations. Congratulations to you and your daughter, to both of you. And it's that advancement to the next step. You've seen all those blessings. It's amazing, inspiring. You've mentioned that you were homeless before. How was that?
So growing up, I grew up in a household where my father was a heroin addict and my mom was an alcoholic. Mind you, they were not bad people at all. And I always said I would never be like them. Not going to be like them. And I was a straight A student all the way until my, I think, 10th grade year. And I started partying. And it was just like fun at first. And I got caught up in the mix and that fun little partying. After I had my daughter at 17, right after she was born, I literally went into intravenous usage of methamphetamine, using meth. And then from using meth, I went into using heroin. And there went a 14-year adventure. It was fun at first, I'm not kidding you. And to get hooked into the madness, and I lost my daughter, I lost my son, and none of that stopped me. None of it. Let me tell you how there's a God in this world. I'm leaving. As a matter of fact, I tried to go to rehab. I tried to go to something called Victory Outreach. I wasn't having it. They woke me up at 6 and told me to get on my knees and pray to God. I told them, there is no God. What are you kidding? And on my way out, this girl stopped and gave me a phone number. I took the phone number. I left. That's when I went to go get high. And on the phone was a lady. And she said, if you really want help, you will meet me at the parole office on Cherry Avenue in Long Beach at this time, and I'll help you. I went on to stay in rehab. You don't ever graduate rehab, but I completed their program. What I can tell you is that lady who helped me, took me to rehab, she's still my friend today. And I literally went to go work on a prison yard with her 5 years into my sobriety. I worked on a level 3 prison yard for 18 months. I was a case manager. I became a supervisor. And still to this day, she's my friend.
And I can just say, on behalf of our community, thank you, for being out there and serving people. And I know that it's challenging. It's pretty challenging, seeing people coming in from different states, from different backgrounds, just asking for help. And thank you for being a guest today here for today. We appreciate that, and I hope we can continue impacting as many lives as we can and seeing that change.
Thank you. I hope to continue to do this work too.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Spreading hope. Thank you. Okay. Make the holidays brighter by joining us today and becoming a donor or a volunteer. You can find more information at coalongbeach.org and visit our website